What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU, and today we have a really interesting report about Blade. Now, there's been a lot happening with Blade. We've had multiple directors, multiple writers. We've heard that the script has been completely rewritten a couple of times, not just once, but a couple of times. And recently, Marvel Studios removed Blade from their release slate schedule. Now, since the Russo brothers have returned to Marvel Studios and they are completely rewriting whatever original script that they had for Avengers, Kang Dynasty / Doomsday, and Secret Wars, and this ultimately changed the course of the MCU's overall story. For example, it's very clear based on the leaked concept photos that were released a couple of days ago that we've covered on the channel, that Marvel Studios actually has plans to do Battleworld. Now, of course, we all expected this to be the case, but the concept art confirms this is what they are thinking. And in turn, that kind of confirms some other reports that we've heard, like anything that's going to take place between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars might be on Battleworld. So in turn, that means Spider-Man 4 could be set on Battleworld. The point is, we can clearly see how the Russo brothers coming in and writing their own new story drastically changed the overall plans that Marvel Studios had. And we've seen this because over the past couple of weeks, we've had official reports stating that Marvel Studios has either delayed or canceled projects. Now, Blade was announced to be removed from the release slate schedule a while ago, and I believe that it's because they couldn't get the script right. But according to this new, we'll call it rumor for now, according to this new rumor, Blade is actually sitting really pretty with Marvel Studios right now. And I think the best indicator of this is the fact that Mahershala Ali has not yet left the project. There's something about this project that Mahershala Ali really loves, so he's not leaving it. And according to this new rumor, they've got the script locked down and could even get a new director, who I think a lot of people would really love to see direct Blade. Now, I say this as a rumor because it's coming from a relatively new website, maxbliz.com. However, in the past, they have reported an exclusive Fantastic Four plot leak, and based on the trailer that we've seen and the released concept art that we got a couple of days ago, that plot leak does seem very accurate. So clearly they have some sources, and yesterday they posted this article with the headline, Marvel's Blade finally moving forward, Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali approve script, Chad Stahelski in talks to direct. Now, right away, I do think Blade is a priority for Marvel Studios because I do believe that Kevin Feige wants to get the Midnight Suns started in the MCU so they can appear in Avengers Secret Wars. Originally, they had planned to film Blade and the Midnight Suns back to back, but obviously it looks like those plans have changed. But according to this new rumor / report from maxbliz.com, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali are happy with a finalized script that they finally have at Marvel Studios for Blade, and Michael Green and Eric Pearson have written the script. If this is true, then that is fantastic news. Again, they clearly had a big idea that was attracting Mahershala Ali to the project to where he never left. There's been a lot of problems over many years now. Like if you think about it, in 2019 they announced Blade, where in 2025 now he's stuck around for a very long time. So clearly there's something great about this movie that is keeping him there. So if they lock down the script and Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali are happy with it, then hopefully it's pretty dang good. Now, the rumor about the director is crazy exciting news. Chad Stahelski directed John Wick. And not just the first one, but he has directed every single John Wick that has come out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here's the deal. He actually has a really big connection with Marvel Studios. Or I should actually say just Marvel in general, because he's worked on films like Deadpool 2 and The Wolverine for stunts. But of course, when those came out, those were Fox and not Marvel Studios. But that's the really cool thing about Chad Stahelski, which I think is why the John Wick movies are so good, is that he's a stunt coordinator. He was actually the stunt coordinator for Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, working with Robert Downey Jr., so he has a connection there. And he actually did do utility stunts for Iron Man 2, so he has worked with the MCU, even if in a small manner, but he does have those connections. And the real interesting part is that he has actually expressed interest in directing Blade just last year. He was on the Happy Sad Confused podcast and he said that he would love to take on Blade. He said, of all things out there, I would love to take a swing at Blade in a second. That's one that gets under my skin. I'm like, I would take a swing at that. And he said that it was arguably his strongest public pitch for a Marvel brand that he's ever made. Well, Blade is set to be a pretty big action film with a lot of stunts. So Marvel, hearing that Chad Stahelski wants to direct Blade, knowing his epic past with Marvel films and directing the John Wick films as well, why wouldn't they want to at least have a conversation with him about it? Especially because we know that there's going to have to be some killer stunts in the Blade film. The hand-to-hand combat needs to be amazing, and if anybody could direct this film, Chad Stahelski could definitely do it. So if this report is true, this could be a huge win for Marvel. And it could also get more people to have more faith in this movie, because after all of the changes and cancellations and removal from their slate, after everything has happened, fans are going to need something that gives them hope for this, and Mahershala Ali, I think, is going to crush it. And if they get Chad Stahelski to direct it, I think this movie just has massive potential. And the fact that Marvel Studios was willing to delay it, postpone it indefinitely, get new writers, get a new script, just to make it basically exactly what they want it to be, I think that's a good sign as well. Especially because we know that Marvel and Kevin Feige have been wanting to get the Midnight Suns in the MCU for a pretty long time now. In fact, the supernatural side of the MCU was supposed to be one of the major sides that we were supposed to get in the multiverse saga. We kind of got a little bit of it. We got Agatha all along, we got Moon Knight, we got Werewolf by Night, which I actually think was a really amazing project. And Ironheart is supposed to involve a lot of sorcery and dark magic as well. So Marvel really was building towards this supernatural side, but unfortunately, what we heard was that Mahershala Ali's Blade was kind of supposed to be like the Nick Fury of the Midnight Suns team, the supernatural Avengers team. And we briefly saw this in the post-credit scene of The Eternals. Blade showed up to Dane Whitman. This was basically supposed to be Blade recruiting Dane Whitman as the Black Knight. And the original plan was for him to kind of go around to other heroes and start recruiting them as well, and that would eventually give us the Midnight Suns team. But unfortunately, since Blade never debuted in the MCU, that pushed everything back. However, it's still a priority for Marvel Studios, especially because it really seems like they wanted Blade and the Midnight Suns to be a part of the huge multiverse finale, which is going to be Avengers Secret Wars. And that makes a lot of sense if we're going to have just a ton of different variants on Battleworld, and that concept art showed us that Battleworld is the direction that they're going. Well, to have all of these different characters on this planet without the Midnight Suns characters, well, that would be a shame. And I'm sure we're going to get some of them. Like, a lot of people are really hoping that Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider will return, and we've heard rumors that that might happen. And if we do get the Midnight Suns, we might see them come together in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. I don't see them getting Blade out before Doomsday happens. They'd have to film before, which I don't think is even a possibility at this point. They'd have to film between Doomsday and Secret Wars, which is also going to be really hard because the Russo brothers basically confirmed that they're filming Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back. Plus, not to mention, they are filming Spider-Man 4 in between Doomsday and Secret Wars as well. So they'd have to throw Blade in between, which is possible, but it's going to be pretty hard for Marvel to do. But with a completely separate cast and crew, it's entirely possible. And they'll essentially have to do it to get Blade into Avengers Secret Wars, along with the Midnight Suns, because as far as we're concerned, we kind of know all the parties that are going to be in Doomsday. We'll have Sam Wilson, aka Captain America's new Avengers team. We'll have Bucky's Thunderbolts. We'll have characters like Doctor Strange, Wong, Spider-Man. We'll have the Young Avengers, in which we saw concept art for as well, that showed them with Star-Lord, and we saw Star-Lord with two different people. One, Wong, with the Young Avengers, so it looks like they're going to be mentors, but they also showed him with Vision. And if the Vision Quest series leads to the Young Avengers team, then perhaps Vision gets involved with mentoring the Young Avengers as well. So we have Wong, Star-Lord, and Vision, who are the mentors to the Young Avengers team. That's another one right there, plus any other Guardians of the Galaxy characters that could show up. On top of that, we'll have the Fantastic Four and the X-Men as well. So there's already a ton of different teams in Avengers Doomsday. It would be insanely awesome to see the Midnight Suns thrown in there, but unless Blade gets here before that, which I don't think is going to happen, it's not really possible. But it is good news that Marvel Studios has reportedly locked in the script and is eyeing a director. A very good director for the film, in my opinion. Let me know your opinion and your thoughts about all of this news in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.